You ever have a moment where you're just standing there in the rain, flashlight in hand, watching a whole neighborhood drown right in front of you, and the wild part is, you warned them, but nobody listened? Yeah, that's exactly where I found myself one night, soaked to the bone on my porch, eyes locked on the chaos as Willow Creek Heights turned into a disaster movie. Water was thundering down the hill, cars floating like bath toys, fences popping apart, power lines sparking in the dark, and folks running screaming while those big fancy houses got swallowed up by the flood. Only difference is this wasn't some freak act of God. This was the kind of karma you can see coming a mile away. And as I stood there, not smiling, not cheering, just kind of broken, I kept thinking, I tried, I really did, but they called me stubborn paranoid, said my dam was ugly and not part of the neighborhood vision. Well, the only vision left now was debris and panic. Let me back up a sec. My name's Tyler Granger, and I've spent the better part of 2 decades on this land with my dog, Scout keeping to myself and doing what needs to be done. I'm not the HOA type. I like dirt under my nails, not endless meetings about mailbox colors or some such nonsense. But a couple years back, this HOA development shows up cookie-cutter houses, perfect lawns, and folks who start acting like they own everything the second they sign their mortgage. At first, I figured live and let live, just don't mess with my land. But HOA folks, they can't help themselves. It started small letters about my cattle being too close to the community trail, which I built, by the way, complaints about my fence shadow, even the color of my barn. But the real fight started over my dam, an old, sturdy earth dam I built with help from a couple state engineers. It wasn't pretty, but it kept the hillside together every time it poured. The HOA board said it violated neighborhood aesthetics and posed a risk, so they slapped me with notices, dragged me into a meeting, and their president, Charles Whitman, picture a guy who looks like he eats rule books for breakfast, just tells me, flat out, it's coming down. I tried explaining, brought blueprints, offered to fix up anything, but it was like talking to a wall. So one day, a demolition crew shows up, yellow excavator and all, and rips my dam to pieces. Scout barked her head off. I stood there holding back every curse I knew, and the crew just kept saying, "Sorry, just doing our job, sir." I didn't fight it, not with fists or lawyers. I just knew once the storms hit, it'd be bad. That winter, I watched the snowpack build, and when spring came, I moved my animals to higher ground, dug new ditches, stacked sandbags. The neighbors laughed. One woman with pink gloves even called me Doomsday Tyler. I just nodded. Then the rains hit. First day bad, second day worse. By the third, the sky was black by breakfast and the ground shook every time thunder rolled. I barely slept just listening to Scout growl at every sound outside. When I finally stepped out with my flashlight, what I saw made my stomach drop, water blasting through where the dam used to be tearing, straight at Willow Creek Heights. It was chaos. Lawns disappeared. Fences snapped, a house literally cracked in half, and through all that, I spotted Charles's brand new SUV, a big black Lincoln, slammed right into the clubhouse wall, water pouring through the windows. That's when I heard him yelling for help. I tied a rope around my waist, charged through mud and debris, and there he was, trapped behind a table, water up to his chest. "You came," he gasped. I didn't answer, just pulled until we both stumbled out into the storm, coughing and shaking. He collapsed beside me, looked up, and said, "I thought I was saving the neighborhood." I just told him, "You were saving your pride." That one hit, and he didn't argue. By morning, the National Guard was pulling folks off roofs, and the official word was natural disaster, but everyone knew better. But you know how it goes when things fall apart. People want a villain. Karen Bishop, the queen of the HOA, filed a lawsuit blaming me for the flood, said my dam, the one they tore down, was the real problem. She wanted $1 million. This is the same lady who once called animal control on Scout for barking at her cat. I couldn't believe it. Good thing I kept everything photos, letters, and an engineer's report proving the dam made things safer, not worse. I called my lawyer, Maggie, a real bulldog who read Karen's lawsuit and said, "She's got nothing, but let's make sure the whole story gets out." The neighborhood split. Some folks believed Karen, others didn't. And then came the twist. A local contractor, Joe, showed up at my place with a flash drive. He'd overheard Karen bragging at a private board meeting about getting my dam demolished no matter what the permits say. She said, "We'll bulldoze it, pave a trail, and by the time anyone sues, nobody'll care." I handed that drive straight to Maggie. That changed everything. Lawsuits flipped, public support turned, and suddenly the HOA board was bailing one by one, leaving Karen standing alone. But she didn't quit. She tried to intimidate me, even sent a couple guys to threaten me. Yeah, 2 goons in hoodies showed up one night with a crowbar. I had Scout off her leash for once. She chased them off so fast I almost felt sorry for them. Almost. Meanwhile, more rain came and a brand new sinkhole opened under the neighborhood, swallowed 7 houses in one night. Folks were screaming the ground was sliding, and what used to be a community of harmony was now a war zone. Finally, the county stepped in, dissolved the HOA, banned new development, and gave me the go-ahead to rebuild my dam. I set up a fund to restore the land, even used the money from Karen's failed lawsuit to help neighbors fix what was left. Charles, believe it or not, showed up every morning to help rebuild, limp and all, saying he wanted to get it right this time. Karen, on the other hand, went off the rails, tried to torch my barn, got arrested, and last I heard, she's still making trouble from behind bars. So now I look out over the valley, fewer houses, more trees, peace for once. And I think about all those rules, all that arrogance washed away by one good storm. Sometimes I still catch tire tracks near the barn, a reminder that some folks never quit, and maybe the story never really ends. But I'll tell you what, land doesn't care about titles or rules. It remembers who stood up for it when it mattered. So, what do you think? Was I wrong to fight back, or was that the only way to save this place? Would you ever trust your land to an HOA after hearing all this? Drop a comment, tell me where you stand, because out here, justice isn't just a word. It's what you do when no one else will.